we got here? We have 4 quarters in the fountain. Every day the amount of quarters doubles. Create a table that represents this scenario. So we'll make a table first. So we start off, our initial value is 4 quarters, so $1. And it says that every day the amount of quarters doubles. So we used to have 4, now we have 8, and we have 16, 32, and 64. A graph that represents it. So we are really small, and very still small, and very still small, but then we get bigger and bigger. So as you can kind of see, I'm not connecting them because we can't have a quarter or anything, but that's about the nice curvy looky thing that you've got there. And the multiplier is dos. I'm multiplying by 2 each time. So the equation is my initial value, my multiplier, and this is what, D for day. And so that would be my equation that I've got. Now, it says how many quarters were in the fountain yesterday. So yesterday is really like a -1. And yesterday is if I'm multiplying by 2, I am dividing by 2. So I would have just 2 quarters in there. How long would there be for $40 or $20 worth of quarters? The reality is we first need to figure out how many quarters is that. So there are 4 quarters in $1. So 20 times 4. We want to know when there are 80 quarters in there. Now, really, I mean, I'm pretty close. Like, you could just kind of keep going here and say, I want to have, what, 80. Oh no, when is 80 equal to all of that? I've already plugged in 4, so I'm going to just go ahead and plug in 5. So 4 times 2 to the 5th power is 128. So it's definitely between day 4 and day 5. Okay, let us see here. Let's look at number 2. We'll do 2 at a time here. So for number 2, we have some situation that's very sad. So it says to create a table, so we can do that. Currently, so right this second, we're going to go ahead and start off our initial value of 400. And we are, let's see, each month the number of brain cells declines by 20%. Now remember, I don't know if you remember this or not, but the multiplier then is 0.8 when you do that. So I need a couple other values, so I'm going to have 400 times 0.8 is 320. Now, say you didn't know that. You could say 400 times 0.2, find out how many you're declining by, and then subtract it to get the 320. So that would be another option, and do that a couple times and then try to figure out what the pattern is. Going back to 14.6 would be some good ones if you're not real sure of how to do those, because we go into those at much greater length because I just finished those videos. Okay, so we need 5 pair of values, it says. So the reality is I'm going to cheat, because I am going to go down to, let's see, that was A. B is a graph, which we're going to get in a second. C, what is the multiplier, which is 0.8. D, what is the rule? Y is equal to my initial value times 0.8 to the x power. And so now what I want to do is go ahead and just plug it in so I can let my calculator do all of the work. So I plugged all that stuff in there, and I go to my table. Oh, I must have been way down there for some reason before. So just arrow up. And so, yeah, I've got all my values there. So I have, what, 256, 204.8, and 163.8. How many brain cells did he have 1 month ago? So I need to go backwards. So if I am multiplying by 0.8 to go this way, I need to divide by 0.8 to go the other way. So to do that, I'm going to go 400 divided by 0.8, and I would have 500. I need my graph now. So I'm starting at 400, then I'm at 320, 256, 204, and then we kind of start curving down like that. F, how many will he have 4 months from now? So here's my 4 months from now. And when will he run out? So the reality is when will he have less than 1? Because then he just doesn't have any actual cells. So, or you can say, when will he run out? Well, he'll never get to actually 0. So if I go back to my table, I can just go down, and this is the power of the graphing calculator, or of your phone, looking at that way too. So right here, after 26, so after 26 months, between 26 and 27 is actually when it happens, you'll have less than 1 cell. But the reality is that we can go down and down and down and down, and it just gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, but it never actually hits. If I look at my, if I look at my graph of it, oh, this is going to be a bad zoomer, so let's hold on and let's see if we can pull in a zoomer here. Zoom, let's do Z fit so we can see if it fits a little bit better. Okay, and I'm going to actually change my window to like 200 because I just want you to see what happens. Clearly, you don't see what happens. Hold on. Let's change it to 310. Okay, and actually let's change the window so you can see the minimum. So we'll go to -5. There we go. So now you can see it kind of just levels off and it never actually goes down below there. Okay.